Well, what can I say? This is like the coolest product we have ever developed. I think, initially when we started on this particular project, all I wanted the scientists to work with me is to make a mother of all juices. And they sort of said, no, let's make something even better. So I think with this G3 product, I'm hoping between myself and Carsten over the next 30 minutes or so, we'll convince you that this is more than just a juice, okay? This is not just a juice, this is more than that. So let me have my first slide if I can. About 2 years ago, when we launched the biophotonic scanner, and some of you may have been at that particular meeting, we talked a lot about how excited we were to have the biophotonic scanner. Not just being more, it's not just a business tool, it's more than a business tool to the scientists and R&D team in Pharmanex. We knew that with that particular scanner, we can develop much more superior and even better and unique products within the Pharmanex division. At that time, when we stated that particular commitment, I wasn't sure when we can actually develop such a product. In fact, I was hoping that within the next 3 years I could bring it out. Well, we're ahead of schedule. We're about a year ahead of schedule. And in fact, this G3 product was to be our flagship product at the October convention. But, being a blabbermouth, I mentioned this product candidate to Scott Schwartz, whom you know, and he's an even bigger blabbermouth than I am, and mentioned that to a few of our distributor leaders, and it caught fire. So Scott came to me and said, well, I have this convention, Joe, on March the 5th. We want to launch the product. Can you imagine? I just told him that we're working on it, right? We're not sure it's October. And he wants me to bring it ahead of schedule, like at least 6 months ahead of schedule. It's like Scott always makes me sweat bullets. So what else is new? So it's really great that we finally managed to bring you this product. And I hope with this particular presentation, we'll be able to get you even more excited. In addition to the flavor, it's really a good, nutritious, and health-providing kind of beverage. Now, the G3, this name has been incredible. You know, naming a product is a divisional responsibility. But this product got everybody into the kitchen. I even have Truman coming up to me and say, I got a name for you, Joe, for this product. Everybody got into the game, and it was great because that really shows me they have some passion on this particular product. We went through a whole series of naming this product, and finally we came up with G3 because this is why. It is a combination, as you well know, of this centerpiece fruit that's called a gag fruit, or in Vietnamese, it would be gok. Okay. Well, say it. Gok. Okay. All right. And it has 3 other fruits, superfruits in it, and there would be Siberian pineapple, the Chinese lyceum fruit, and the Sealy fruit. And Carsten will come and tell you why we included these 3 wonderful fruits together with gag in this G3 product, because I think what we have now is a combination, the optimal blend of all the micronutrients that we can put into a beverage. So, gag is interesting in Chinese. When it was first discovered in Vietnam, the Chinese also has a name for it, and it is known as a fruit from heaven. It is really interesting because when you look back in traditional Chinese medicine books or in some other historical, in fact, even in novels in Chinese, you find many of these novelists and herbalists will start describing a fruit that they've found that can really provide a lot of medicinal and health benefits. And they couldn't figure out a name for him, but it's such a wonderful fruit. And they say, well, we're going to call it in Chinese the fruit from heaven. So, and this is what it looks like. You saw in the video. It's about the size of a cantaloupe, and when it's ripe, obviously, it's this particular orange color. Traditionally, as I mentioned, it's found all over in Southern Asia, and it's used for both internal and external use. Most of the Chinese and Asians, if they're in the jungle or somewhere wild where they couldn't get to a doctor really quickly, and they cut themselves, immediately they would go and get a gag fruit, open it up, and use the pulp to use as a dressing for that open wound. Blindness is interesting because way back, nobody knows that blindness can be caused by a deficiency in a particular vitamin that's called vitamin A. Okay? So, but they knew that if they ate this fruit, it looks like they can see better, but that's all they have been using it traditionally is to prevent blindness. And again, Carsten will come out and tell you why, now that we know what the scientific reason for prevention of blindness. And children, obviously, if they have a good source of vitamins and all the other antioxidants in gag and the other fruits, they will grow up to be strong and healthy and will not be stunted in their growth. The second bullet is this soy gag. It's a Vietnamese kind of pastry. I'll show you a picture of that. In fact, I think on the video you might have seen it. Traditionally, in Asian cultures, white is not a good color. In fact, white is usually associated with death. If you're in Asia, if you watch a funeral, you tend to see that most of the people, rather than in black, they're usually dressed in white gowns because that's a funeral color. So during festivals, happy festivals such as the Chinese New Year, which happened a month ago, or during Tet, which is the Vietnamese Chinese New Year equivalent to the Chinese New Year, most people tend to stay away from having white or a color white in any of the surroundings or when they enjoy their meals. Rice, unfortunately, is white. And what they do is that many cultures have now developed using the gag, the pulp inside the gag, to color the rice. And that's how they developed and managed to come out with this particular pastry that's called the rice-based pastry. It's called a soy gag. So it's red in color, it's used in weddings, because red in Asian cultures is very much associated with happiness and prosperity. So that's a great thing to use from the gag. So that's some of the traditional uses. And here's a picture of soy gag. Looking in the middle, you can see now that's just rice pastry, and they've colored it now with the pulp that is found in that open gag fruit. Here's a little bit about vitamin A deficiency. Very interesting. We now know, because a lot of studies have been done, if you are deficient in vitamin A, you're going to have a terrible problem. In fact, it will ultimately lead to permanent blindness. One of the conditions would be keratomalacia. And in Southern Asia, this particular fruit has been used as a natural source of vitamin A precursors. That would be the beta-carotene. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why it's important to have beta-carotene in our nutrition and in our diet is the formation of vitamin A. After 10 years of research, and this is another interesting story, Dr. Lee Vong, who is one of our consultants for the gag fruit research, she spent a lot of years in UC Davis working and understanding how this gag fruit can provide health benefits. And she was the one that actually managed to publish a lot of papers on the gag fruit, touting how important it is the gag fruit, the use of gag fruit or the consumption of gag fruit in Southern Asia could prevent such a thing like vitamin A deficiency. Okay. And the science, as I mentioned, she has worked 10 years at UC Davis, and it took us 3 years. Another reason why we called it G3. And pretty cool, huh? You think we're just scientists? We can do marketing. So 3 years in Pharmanex R&D, the biophotonic scanner was key. Up to this point, we have 1.4 million scans from all you folks. And from that particular database, congratulations and thank you for all of it. 1.4 million scans. And from that particular database, we glean out the most useful information. What is it that will actually add to the biophotonic scanner story and also make LifePak even more appealing to all our consumers and customers? And we came through and it found with the gag fruit, the key thing here, it has this lipocarotenes. It is, every company is out there now saying, well, we have a great delivery system. You know, we use this, we use gel, we use all these kinds of stuff. I don't need to look any further because nature has now provided us with an almost perfect delivery system for micronutrients. That is like the coolest thing I've ever seen, you know. I mean, no scientist, no chemist can ever give me a better delivery system than the gag fruit. And because of this delivery system, we can now use this gag fruit to help deliver Life Pack, for example, maximally insight into your body, and now you have health benefits that you can actually measure. Again, reinforcing our tagline, the measurable difference. Which other juice can you actually measure? Thank you. Recommended for everybody. No big deal here. You can drink a whole bottle. No, not a problem. Okay? Perfect complement to Life Pack, as I already mentioned. You swallow the Life Pack, you jug it down with this G3. You're going to have a wonderful experience. And I usually take my G3 with vodka, but never mind. Okay, so it's obviously the drink of choice for taking all Farm & X products. Here's my tagline. Once you try gag, you'd never go back. Right? Yeah. And got gag? I got Truman so excited. I said, Truman, you got to give me a statement. I'm talking on Saturday morning. You're not coming. What am I going to say? Right? I need your support. And this is what he said. Not only are we the first to market, it is unique and exclusive to Farm & X, this G3 product. We've captured the world supply of the gag fruit pulp. Okay? We are also the best to market. That's what he thinks. And I hope he was quite excited last night and drank the stuff with you. Okay. So, that's really my brief introduction. I really want the real scientists to come up and tell you more about the gag.